In the spring of 1865, a country torn apart by civil strife stands on the brink of historic change, with the fate of a nation hanging in the balance. On April 9th, 1865, Lee surrenders to Grant. By 1865, Confederate General Robert E. Lee is in dire straits, as the North's built-in advantages have been brought fully to bear. Forced to abandon the Confederate capital, Richmond, Lee has been blocked from uniting with a Confederate force in North Carolina. With Union cavalry harassing his army at every turn and no means of escape, Lee is out of options. He sends a message to Union General Ulysses S. Grant indicating his willingness to surrender. The highest-ranking generals in their respective armies, the two men meet at Appomattox Courthouse. Lee agrees to Grant's terms. There are still other Confederate armies out there, but Lee's surrender produces a domino effect. The war is, in essence, over. Less than a week after Lee's surrender, Union celebrations are replaced with mourning as President Abraham Lincoln is assassinated. Stay tuned, because coming up we'll learn more about some of the details of the surrender, including where exactly Lee surrendered to Grant, and if you can visit the location today. Don't forget to check out Today in History in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. There is a link in the description. Contrary to popular belief, Lee's surrender does not happen in a courthouse. The town it happens in is called Appomattox Courthouse because of a courthouse that was built there in the 1840s. The town is in Appomattox County, Virginia. A replica of the old Appomattox Courthouse, built in the 1960s, stands at its former location. Lee's surrender actually happens in the home of Wilmer McLean, in his parlor, in fact. McLean had moved to Appomattox Courthouse a few years earlier. He had done so hoping to get away from the fighting. 4 years earlier, in fact, some of the fighting of the first major battle of the war occurred on his farm. This had prompted McLean's move to Appomattox Courthouse in the first place. Ironically, it put him right in the middle of the war again. So essentially, the war starts in McLean's front yard and ends in his front parlor. Characteristically, Grant is wearing his muddy field uniform at the time of the surrender, while Lee is decked out in full dress. Grant's terms of surrender are quite generous. He allows the Confederate soldiers, with the exception of officers, to return to their homes after laying down their arms and signing parole documents. They are allowed to keep their private property, including their horses. Union horses are the property of the Union Army. Confederates, on the other hand, own their own horses. Grant also provides 25,000 rations to feed the hungry Confederate soldiers. Most of these rations were technically provided from the Confederate supplies that had been captured the previous day. Each soldier is given a printed pass to prove during his journey home that he is in fact a paroled prisoner. The formal surrender of arms occurs on April 12th. The McLean home, where the surrender occurred, is carefully dismantled in the 1890s and is intended to be shipped to Washington, D.C. and put on display. That never happens, and the materials remain on site. 50 years later, in the 1940s, it is carefully reconstructed using its original materials on its original foundation and can still be visited to this day. Well, if you like what you've seen here, please be sure to like and subscribe, and know that you can see a great Mr. Lewis video right here, and there's another Mr. Lewis video here. Thanks for watching.